sevgili izleyenler.
Hello,
Anticoup
dear
Hackathon.com'da bizleri
viewers.
bekleyen 15 Temmuz Uluslararası Anti-Darbe Hackathon'u
Welcome
final
to the
yarışmalarını bizlerle
final
paylaşan
thrill
değerli
of the
izleyenlerimiz. Hoş geldiniz
Anti-Coup
efendim
Hackathon,
kanalımıza.
July 15 International
Evet, bu
Anti-Coup
renkli gün
Hackathon on
başlandı. Başkanlığımızın annesiyle
www.anticoupHackathon.com.
birlikte
I'm
içinde doğa
Fulya
sloganıyla
Kalfa.
çıktığımız yolculuğumuzda
We
tam
embarked on this
1 yıl
journey with the
geçti.
motto
Depremzeden,
Strength
tüm
rises from
hasarlı
unity,
alanların
and
temizlik ve
we have been
anti-darbe
part of
hackathonu
this organization organized under the
anti-darbe
auspices of
hackathonu
the Directorate of
ülkemizdeki
Communications of the
ekran
Presidency of the
gözlerimiz,
Republic of Turkey,
projelerimizin
the
yer
July
bulmaları
15
için
International Anti-Coup
dar beraberiz
Hackathon for
görüş şeklinde
7 days and
yaklaşacaklardır.
nights. We started on
Tüm
the
taraflar
13th of July,
başkanlığımıza
Monday,
başladı.
and we are
Bizler
reaching
de
the
bugün
end
bir
of this
katılım
long
yapacağız ve
marathon.
bu katılımlardan
Hundreds
32'sinin
of
şansı
teams
buldu.
applied,
Hackathon'umuzda
and
15
35 of
Temmuz'unu
these teams had the
gerçekleştireceğiz.
chance to
Yarışmacıları
compete
geçen
in this
15
hackathon.
takım
And we
final
have
projeleriyle
15
finale
teams
taşınma
that
şansı
qualified
buluyorlar. Bu
to the
serüvende
finals
renkleri
after the
oyun
semifinals
konuğumuz
on
Mehmet
the
Ali
15th
Makbuloğlu.
of July.
Onlara eşlik edeceğiz.
And our
Fikirlerini yaratma
mentors, Mr.
sürecinde
Onguntan and
onlara
Mehmet Ali
destek
Makbuloğlu,
oldular. Tüm
accompanied our
antidarbeler
teams
konusunda
and supported our teams
ekonomik
throughout
ve
this journey.
komunikasyon alanlarındaki
Our
onlara çözüm bulmak adına
teams developed
projeler
projects to
geliştirdiler.
resolve
İnanın
problems in the
oldukça
areas of
zor ve amaçlı
education,
olan da çok
economy, and
heyecanlı bir süreçti.
communication.
Bu
It was quite
hackathon'da bizlerle
challenging, but
mücadele
also
eden
very
tüm
exciting
takımlarımıza
for them.
sizlerin isminde
And
ben bir kez
I
daha
would like
teşekkür
to
etmek
once
istiyorum.
again
Bugün
thank
15
our
takım
teams in
çalışmalarımızı
your
ve
presence
projelerine son
for
noktayı
competing in this
koydular.
hackathon.
Birazdan takımlarımıza
Now,
bağlanacağız
15
hep birlikte
teams
ve
completed their
uzun maratonda
activities and
gerçekleştirdikleri
completed their
projelerini
projects,
birinci ve aynı
and we
zamanda
are going to
ikinci
be
sizlere
connecting to our
sunacağımız
teams very
Nisan'daki efendim
briefly, hear about
kısa
the
bir
projects
filmimiz
and
var.
watch the
Birazdan
projects.
onu izleyelim. 2
So
saat sonra
we're
tekrar
going to
platformda
watch a
karşınızda
short
olacağız.
video and then we'll be back on this platform.
Dolayısıyla ben kısaca neler yaptık, neler yapacağız ve bizi neler bekliyor.
Tabii ki de olacak. Ama önemli olan burada konsepti, mimariyi ve akışı, kaynakları
merak ettiğiniz olduğunu gördüm. Benim aslında imkanlı olduğum
Bilgisayar mühendisliği 4. sınıfın Beykent Üniversitesi olarak katılıyoruz.
Peki o zaman merak ediyorum ne yaptığınızı. Umarım yararlı işler çıkarır.
Karşı koyması dolayısıyla
görsel, sesli ya da yazılı olarak
Değerli izleyicilerimiz,
Distinguished viewers,
hoş geldiniz.
welcome once
İstanbul'a
again.
geldiniz demek istiyorum. 15 Temmuz
I would like to
Uluslararası
welcome you all
Anti-Darbe
once again.
Hackathon'da bugün
And
final
today
sunumlar için
we are
tekrar
together
beraber
for the
bulunuyoruz.
final presentations at the
Beraberinde
July 15
desteklemediğimiz
International
bazı
Anti-Coup
sorular var.
Hackathon. Now, as you know, we are
Antikoplar
living in the world
sistemler
of
taşıyoruz ve
technology, and
dediğim
now
gibi
code
bir teknoloji
systems,
yani amaç
brain
haline
power
getiriyoruz.
are the
Bu
only
anahtarlarla
keys
açılması
for the
en büyük
future.
zorlukların
And with
içinden
these
gelmek aslında
keys,
bizlerin
it is
elinde.
up to us
15
to
Temmuz
overcome the
Uluslararası
toughest
Anti-Darbe
challenges.
Hackathon'unda bu düşünceyi
And
merkeze alarak bizler
the
yola
July
çıktık.
15 International
Teknolojinin ve
Anti-Coup Hackathon
sağlığın
embarked on
uyumu,
this journey with
etkili ve yaygın
based
çalışma
on this
metodu olan
concept.
hackathon
And
kullanarak Türkiye ve dünyada yaşanmış ve halen
the,
yaşanmakta olan
this
demokratik
working method,
sistemlerin
Hackathon, which
işlekliğini
is a
durduran,
very effective and
toplumsal barışı
widespread
ve
working
seçimi
method
yaratan,
uh,
toplumların ekonomik ve
presented by
kültürel
technology
birikimlerini
in our
tamamen
time,
değiştiren aşırı
we
yaptıklarını pratikte
focused
çalışmayla gözler
on
önüne sermeyi hedefledik
the
efendim.
military coups
Yarışmacı
which
takımlarımız
disrupt
askeri darbe
democratic
bölgesinde
systems and
esnasında veya
social peace.
sonrasında
And we
belirlediğimiz
wanted to have a
başlıklar
global
altında
activity
gördükleri
around
sorunları veya
portraying the
onların
problems
sonrasında
caused by
oluşan
military
sorunları
coups.
tanımladılar bizler için.
And our
İnfografikler ve
contestants
aplikasyonlarla
defined the
darbelerin
problems in their
tetikledikleri
minds
bilinmeyen etkilerini
about
gözler
military
önüne
coups.
sağladılar.
And with
Bilim ve teknoloji
infographics and
tarihi bir
applications,
soruna çözüm
they
getirmek
made
için bugün
the
aslında böyle
impacts of
özetleyebiliriz yani
coups
söylediğimiz şeyi.
visible,
Şimdi hem projeler hakkında genel
and
görüşlerini almak hem de
they
sunumlar ve plan
made
projelerinde yaşanan
science and
takımların
technology
büyük
come
ödülsün
together to
geçmiş detayları
resolve
hakkında
a
bilgi almak için
historical
jüri
problem.
üyelerimizden
Now
birine
we are
bağlanacağız.
going to
Sayın
connect to
Mehmet
one
Ali
of our
Makbuloğlu
jury
bizlerle
members,
beraber.
Mr.
Sayın
Mehmet
Makbuloğlu
Ali
merhabalar, hoş
Makbuloğlu,
geldiniz.
to receive some information. Hello.
Merhabalar, nasılsınız?
Hello, how
Çok
are you?
teşekkürler. Bizler gayet
Thank you
iyiyiz.
very much.
Siz
We're doing
nasılsınız?
great. How are
Sıhhatlerinizi sormak
you?
istiyorum ben. Şimdi
I actually want to ask you
yarışmacılarımızın
that.
görüşmesi sizinle. Yarı finalden sonra
So
nasıl bir
after
süreç
the
geçti? Takımlar
semifinals,
nasıl
what was the
hazırlandılar? Biraz
process like?
bilginizi
How did
almak
the
mümkün mü?
teams prepare? Can you share
Öncelikle
your
yarı
impressions with
final
us?
öncesi
Of course. Now, before the
aldığımız sunumlarda daha
semifinals,
çok hani projenin
when we looked at the
işleyişini, nasıl işlediğini,
presentations,
metodunu anlatan, özetleyen sunumlarla
we
karşı
saw
karşıyaydık.
summaries of
Özellikle
how
bizim
the
için biraz
project
zordu. Ben projeyi
would be
hayal etmek,
functioning,
projenin nasıl
and it was kind of challenging for us to
işleyeceğini tahmin etmek
conceptualize that
zordu.
project
Ancak
and
final sunumlarında
imagine what the outcome would be like.
büyük bir
But
oranda
with the
birçok
final
takım
presentations,
projenin
quite
gerçekleşebileceğini
impressively,
gösterebilecek, öngörebilecek
the
şekilde
teams
sunumlarını ortaya
made
koymuşlar. Kendilerini
presentations
alttan
showing
alıştırmışlar.
us how the
Metodolojiyi
project would
çalışma
be
şekillerini katmaya
realized, and
çalışmışlar.
they tried to add
Bu
their
aşamada
authenticity as much as
final
possible.
sunumunda değerlendirdik.
And
Peki siz
we
mentor
are
olarak
evaluating
takımlara bu
these
esnada nasıl
presentations.
destekler verdiniz?
So, as
Bunu biraz anlatır
mentors,
mısınız?
how did you
Evet, yani
support the
önceki
teams in this
yarı final
process?
öncesinde anlattığımız
Well,
yani destekleri benzer olarak
previously, we had
takımlar
explained the
mentorları
support
genellikle
that
hani
we were
yazılımsal
providing, and
teknik
similar
destekler
to that, the
eğitimli olarak
teams,
hayata
rather than
geçirecek
software-related or
nasıl
technical
karşıya
support,
bilgiyi
consulted us
aktarabileceğini
about how they can
ve
bring their product to
kendi
life, how they
fikirlerinden,
can
hedeflerini
communicate their
hayallerini
product
nasıl
to
en
other
iyi
parties,
şekilde
and
dile
how
getirebilecekleri üzerine
they
aslında
can
sorular
voice
sordular.
their ideas and their
Çünkü
dreams.
bildiğiniz üzere hani şu anda
Because,
sanal bir
as you
hackathon
know,
yapıldığı için
since
normalde
this is
fiziksel
a cyber
hackathonlarda
hackathon,
jüri
now in
üyeleri ve
physical
mentorlar belirli bir
hackathons,
kodu
the
inceleyebilme
jury
ve kodu
members and
inceleyebilme yetkisine
mentors
sahipler. Orada
actually
yardımcı
have
olabiliyorlar bizlere ama
authority to
burada sanal
examine the
bir
code and
hackathon olduğu
manipulate
için
the
çok kısa
code. But
süre var.
because this
Öyle
is a
olunca
cyber
haklı olarak
hackathon, the time
takımlardan
frame is very limited.
içeriği geçirebilme yoluna
And
bakıyorlar.
that's why the teams are
Bizim de
focusing on
kriterlerimize göre biz de takımları
communicating the
eğitime
idea in the
yönlendirmeye
best way
çalışıyoruz.
possible. So we try
Peki
to
şimdi
guide
tabii
them
takım
towards that as
çalışmalarından
much as we
bahsediyoruz.
can.
Oldukça
So
önemli
we're
bir
talking about
aslında
teamwork, and
bir
that is very
çalışma grubunun bir araya
important. I mean,
gelerek
a group
çalışması.
of people coming
Siz tabii
together and working together,
takımlarınızın o
it's
takım sistemini
quite
nasıl çözümlediniz,
important. So,
değerlendirdiniz
what did you
geçirebiliriz
think
efendim?
about the teamwork, the
Ya ilk
systems they
önce
had,
sunumu
how
yapan
they
kişiler
work in
genellikle
harmony?
yani sunumu izlerken biz
Well, when we
sesimizi
were
genellikle
watching the
iki ya da üç kişi duyduk.
presentation,
Aslında
we
çok
usually
sesini
hear one
görmedik.
or two
Ancak
voices. We didn't see the
hani
entire
katılımcıların
team.
isimlerinin yanı sıra
But
farklı deneyim alanlarını
besides
geliştiren
the names
akışsal
of the
projeler
team
var. Yani
members,
bir
I mean,
projede
there were
sadece
some projects that
tek bir
required other areas of
kişinin
expertise. For
çalışan olacağı,
example,
farklı adımların ve farklı kişiliklerin
there are
olabileceği
different steps
onları
with different
hissettikten sonra
workloads
zaten hani evet
where
farklı bir
one
yapısal,
person cannot do
kolektif
that.
düşünülmüş bir
So
bilinç oluşturulmuş bir
then you know that
geliştirilmiş bir
there's
proje var.
teamwork there and there's a project
Seslerine
that has
katılıyorsunuz
been
zaten ama
created collectively. You get that
mentorluk
feeling
yaptığımız sıralarda
through
da
that. But
bazı
during our
ekiplerle
mentoring
takım
activities as
şeklinde
well,
görüşmemiz, takım şeklinde
with some
sunumlamaları yapmamız
teams, we had
bize
our
o
meetings with the
gelişime yardımcı
entire
oldu. O
team, so
takımlara
that
ben
also helped
teşekkür ediyorum. Ekipçe
deliver that
koordinatörlerini yapan
feeling to us. So I would like
arkadaşlar
to
var,
thank
teknikler
our
yapan
teams for
arkadaşlar
that. There
vardı
were
ve ekip
teams who
sorularını soran
came
ekipler
to the
vardı.
mentor
Onlara çok
meetings
teşekkür
as
ediyorum.
the
Mentor
entire
ekiplerine
team.
beraber geldikleri için.
So I would like to thank them for
Sayın
doing
Makbuloğlu
that.
son olarak şunu da sormak
Okay, so
istiyorum.
Mr.
Şimdi
Makbuloğlu, let
aslında
me
birer
ask you this
bugün
as well,
iki
finally.
alanda birer birincimiz olacak ama
We are
tabii
going to
tüm
have
takımlar
two
belki
winners
kendini
in two
gösterme
different
ardımız
areas,
var.
but
Onlar
um,
için bir
all
fırsat
teams
mıydı?
had an
Bundan
opportunity
sonraki başarılar
to
için bir kalıcı
display
oldu mu ve
themselves, to
onların
portray
ne tarz
themselves.
bir
So
girişimleri olmak
uh,
isterse bununla ilgili
will this create a roadmap for them in the future if they want to have such initiatives? I had mentioned this in the semifinals as well, so I'd like to say it once again. In my perception,
ilk öncelikle bu jüri ve mentorluk sürecinde çok
I
böyle
uh,
bazı zamanlar böyle bir hani baskı
noticed
hissettirdiğinden biri gerektiğini
that,
söylemek söylemek
you
ama
know, my
benim de belli bir süre
age
boyunca
is actually
hackathonlar
much lower
olduğunda
than the average
turnuvada
age of the
iştirak
people
etme
competing in this
durumları,
hackathon. At some
sunumları
point, I was humbled
vesairelerde
uh,
başarılı da oldum,
with that.
başarısız da oldum.
And
Sponsor alabildiğim, alamadığım,
when I
fırsat
look at my
kazanamadığım bir
past,
sürü
there
olay
were
oldu.
times when
Batırdı.
I was successful, when I
Tekrardan hayata
failed, when
atıldı.
I
Böyle çok
got
farklı durumlar oldu.
sponsorships, when I
Burada
couldn't,
hani öğrendiğim şu
when I
noktada
had to
benim günün sonunda bir hayalim var.
do the
Bu
work
hayalimin
again. But
hani
in the
bu
end, I
işte
have
helvacılığa
a dream,
hizmet
and
etmek, bu bilgiyi
my
paylaşmak,
dream
yani
was to create
projeleriyle
an
böyle
institute
dinleyerek
of
öğrendiğimden biri
spacecrafts
aslında
so I
eğitimde
can serve the
bu
civil aviation of
mentorluktan
this
fayda aldım.
country.
Bu
And this
yüzden
is
bir
my dream,
yerden
and even
daim
if I
yapacağım
fail,
şey
I am
şu
going to continue to work
hackathon
towards
kültürü
my
çok
dream.
değerli bir kültür.
So
Çünkü
that's what I
kısa
asked the
sürede
teams to do. The
beklenen bir iş
hackathon
yapmaya
culture is
çalışıyorsunuz
a very valuable
ve
culture because in a
farklı
very
sorunlarla
short
karşılaşıyorsunuz. Bunu çözmeye
amount of
çalışıyorsunuz.
time, you try to
Bugün bu
create something, you try to
ülkenin iç
resolve a
güvenliğini
problem.
sağlanması için
And
yapılan bir hackathon.
today,
Ama
this
yarın
hackathon
bu
is about the
arkadaşlarımız
national
farklı bir
security of a country,
mesela
but
katılım
tomorrow
yapacaklar.
they could attend a
Arkadaşlarım burada
hackathon with a
bu hafta
completely
boyunca
different theme.
İngilizceleri eğitim
So
unutmasınlar. Buradaki
I
gelişme
advise
ve
them
bölümdeki
to
süreçlerini
remember the
akıllarından
experiences
çıkarmasınlar
they
ve
gained
kendi
in this
alanlarındaki
week, the
eğitimlerini
process of creating their presentations, delivering their
projelerinde bulunduğu
presentations,
gibi
and
bu
they
deneyimleri kesinlikle
should
hayata
keep that
geçirmesini yapsınlar
experience
ki zaten
on one side
şeyden
so
dolayı çok
they can
mutluyum.
use this
Herkes çok
experience in the
heyecanlı.
future as well. And every
Yaklaşık
team
8
is
aylık
very
falan var.
excited and
Bu
they were
doğru
very
söylenmiş
dedicated
bazı
to their
noktaları
ideas.
gerçekleştirdik
And
ve
as long as they have that
Türkiye'nin de
faith
bu
and that
coğrafyada
dedication
o teknolojileri
in
gelişebileceği konusunda bir şüphem, bir umutsuzluğum
this
yok açıkçası.
geography, I
Sayın
believe
Akbaroğlu,
we can
aynı zamanda
create many
mentorsunuz. Şu
projects.
anda da devam
I'm
ettirmeye
not
hazırsınız.
hopeless
En
about that.
önemli
Okay,
belki
so your mentorship
hackathon
continued through this
ülkesi
speech
şeyler
as
yapılacak.
well.
Teknik
Thank you
olarak
for your
kullanmaklarınızı
suggestions to
dinliyorum.
our
Neticede
teams. It was very
bu
valuable.
maratonda bizlerle
So
olduğunuz için hem
I would like to
jüri
thank you
üyelerine hem
and
de
all of our jury
organizatörlerine
Ben
members
teşekkür
for
ediyorum.
being
Günün
part of
sonunda
this
da
long
bence
marathon with us. Thank
deneyimlerinizle
you, and I would like to thank all the teams for all
kendi
their efforts,
hayallerini
for their
hedeflerinden
selfless work,
gerçekleştirmek için
and
verdiğiniz
for
bütün
pursuing their
desteklerinize
dreams.
tekrardan
And I
tekrar
wish
aşamalarını
everyone all the best.
13 Temmuz'da
Thank you and
başladığımız
goodbye.
hiç durmadan
So,
devam eden 15 gün
we
uluslararası
started on the
aşılar
13th of
hackathon'da
July and we
tüm katılımlarımız
continued
final sunumlarını
without halt.
gerçekleştiriyor olacaklar.
And
15
today
Temmuz'da
we will see the
gerçekleşecek
final
katılımlar. 15
presentations of
takımın
our teams.
gitmeye
On the
hak
15th of
kazanmasıyla
July,
bu
we
güzel
had 15
takımların
teams who
final sunumlarını
qualified
beraber
for the
izleyeceğiz.
finals, and today we're
Onların
going to
heyecanlarına,
watch their
çalışmalarına ve
presentations
emeklerine
and
şahit
we are
olacağız
going to
birlikte.
witness their
Bunların
excitement, their
ardından
efforts,
jüri
their work.
belirsizlikle
And
takımları
after the
değerlendiriyor olacak.
presentations,
23
our
Eylül
judges
günü
will
için
be
ilk kere hak
evaluating the
kazanan
teams. And on the
takımımızı,
20th
takımlarımızı
of
öğreneceğiz
July,
birlikte.
we are
Bu
going
maratonun
to
son
find
hafta
out
sonuna
the prize
hazırlanacak
winners
olan World
in the
of
two
Multimedia
categories.
platformunun aplikasyonu ve web
And
sitesinin
the
sunulması
winner
olanağı
of
sağlanacak. Bunun yanı
this
sıra özel olarak
marathon with a project will have the
monitoring
opportunity
platformunun
to
aplikasyonunu
work in the
geliştirme olanağı
development of the
tanınacak
application and
takımlara.
website of the
15
World
bin
Coup
euro.
monitoring platform.
İlk olarak için
And
hazırlanacak takımsa
also,
2000 euro
they will be
kazanacak
winning
efendim. Cuma
15,000
günü verilecek
euros.
bakalım.
And the
Şimdi
infographics prize
müsaadenizle
winner will be
izninizle
winning
takımımızı daha fazla
2,000
bekletmek istemem
euros.
ve
Now,
final projeleri için
I
davet
would
ediyorum.
like to invite our
İlk
teams
takımımız
for
geliyor
their
efendim.
final
Aplikasyon
projects. The
alanında
first
yarışan
team
takımımız
is
%95.2
competing in the
computer
application
engineers.
area.
Merhaba, hoş geldiniz.
98.2% computer engineers. Hello, welcome. Hello, Ms. Fulya, how are you? Thank you very much. We're doing great. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your team to us? I'm Ulaş Mezin. I'm from the İzmir High Technology Institute. Cemal İhsan Sofoğlu and Onur Karakoç are a part of our team. We are all studying computer engineering at the İzmir High Technology Institute. Some of our friends already graduated. We are still continuing our student life. So how did it go after the semifinals? Well, of course, this process is a cumulative process. So we continue to add to our efforts that we had before the semifinals. I believe that we created a good project. So can we have a look at it then? We're very curious. Yes, please. So 98.2% computer engineers final presentation. Hello, I'm Ulaş from 98.2 Computer Engineers. My teammates are Busenur Aktılav, Cemal İhsan Sofoğlu, and Onur Karakoç. And we worked on creating a prototype for using machine learning algorithm to understand or forecast whether or not a coup can happen and preventing it. Now, a coup d'etat is the removal of an existing government from power through violence, and nations face extremely challenging consequences as a result of coups. And our motivation is to prevent a coup before it occurs so the people don't face any of the negative impacts. So for that, we need to be able to forecast a coup before it happens so we can create a system that prevents it. To create this system, our proposed solution is, first of all, we tried to create a data set to look at the causes of coups, and we looked at the histories of coups in various countries, and we identified the factors that can lead to a coup. And using machine learning, after installing this data to the system, we developed a forecasting system. The governments and authorities can use this application. It's not just for the Turkish government, all governments can use this. And our data set has many qualities. We have the inflation and growth rate relationship for two different countries here. And while we were selecting our data set, the most important factors that we considered were the changes that happened in years with coups and years without coups. And we see the partial data set of each country here for Turkey and Iraq. And when we look at the years before coups, we see that the growth rate starts falling and inflation starts rising um, in the years up to the coup. So that's why these two factors became an important part of our data set. And as you can see, our data set consists of growth rate, inflation rate, GDP per capita, rate of export to import, and other factors. As we were developing our program, we used the k-means algorithm, and the main principle of this algorithm is, as you can see in the figure on the right-hand side, the datas with similar characters are clustered together, and the years with coups are being represented with 1 and the others with 0. And the Iraq data set is working with 90.9% accuracy. And we also wanted to expand our model, and we reached 84.025% for our accuracy results in Turkey and Iraq. And the program that we developed can be adapted to all countries. There are some articles that share statistics and information that we utilized as well, but we didn't see any applications similar to this one. One of the greatest disadvantages we have is that the data set is very small, so that's why the algorithm is challenged in terms of forecasting the years the coups happened. But with a greater data set, this problem can be resolved. And in the data set, sometimes there are some correlations. When one value increases, the other one also increases. So more independent factors that can also lead to a coup should be added to the data set for more accurate forecasts. And another a thing that can be done to improve the accuracy of this application is to make sure that the data set is expanded. For example, international credit institutions can be asked for data, and when that data is also added to the data set, the accuracy, the forecast can be better. The short-term and long-term triggers of coups need to be examined separately for more accurate forecasts. And also, the accuracy results of different data sets can be compared to select the best forecasting algorithm. And finally, once the forecast is made, which parameters should be focused on and what needs to be improved. Artificial intelligence can help us at that point, and we can make suggestions to the user. Thank you very much for listening to us.
Thank you very much for delivering this presentation, Ulaş Bey. If you let me, I would like to congratulate your team and wish you lots of success. Would you like to add anything else? I hope that we will have a promising project at the end of this competition. I wish success to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce the next team. They are developing an application for the Hackathon Alpha B Bound Tech team. Hello, hello, how are you? Thank you, how are you? Can you introduce yourself? My name is Serhat Seyren. I am from Balıkesir University. My team members are Ümit Sancak, Sanat, and Kamil. We are very happy to be part of this hackathon. How did it go? How was the last week for you? It was very intense. We were very busy, let me say that. And we thought about how to approach these problems in length and how to. We understood how to solve the problems at the end of the day. I mean, that even if we don't win the hackathon, we benefited from this process a lot. It was very tiresome. Okay, I'm very curious about your project. I would like to start the presentation now. Hello, I am Serhat Seyren from Alpha P Bound Tech. We are joining from Balıkesir University Technokent. Well, before a coup takes place, we wanted to identify the network which results in the coup or carries out the coup. Let's start with the first part. I would like to introduce a graph because everything we will be talking about is made up of graphs. This is a graph. All round objects are called nodes. These nodes are connected with edges. And on top of the edges, you see numbers. And these are the weight of the show the weight of the edges. That's how they're called. And these edges have directions. If they have directions, it's called directed graph. And in the network that we developed, we have various nodes, which are citizens, and the edges is they make up the communication between those nodes or the citizens. You show the weight is the amount of a telephone conversation, 36 minutes SMS or telephone conversation duration. Well, people don't communicate only to carry out a coup, we are aware of that, but we are filtering the communication which is relevant. Let's say coup, anarchy, and organization entailing communications are loaded onto the system, and this can be changed to better operate the system, but we can identify individuals with an effective, influential role in the network, and we will classify the people they're communicating with and with whom they communicate and how they communicate. This is a demo. It's a simple network. On the nodes, you have numbers, and this is maybe the ID numbers of individuals. The direction of the edges are clear and they have a weight. And to diminish the noise, well, we did not assign amounts to the edges, but length. Well, if two nodes are in more communication, the length of the edge is higher or longer. So they have been communicating more with each other. So if there's a suspicion, you see this output, and let's talk about it. Here we see potential suspects, and you see the nodes that are in active communication with one another. We are using Gerber-Newman to cluster the nodes and to create the algorithm. The first node is 7. This is the first node, and then the system is suggesting 11 because 11 communicated the most with 7. And if we didn't get the result, we go to the next line, which is number 6, node number 6. And this goes on like that. All nodes in this network are being suggested to you. And then we have the central points, and these are the most important nodes. or nodes, and this is the most important, the next one. Um, the PageRank algorithm used by Google is used here as well, and we are putting them in the respective order. We have two nodes here, and the output for two nodes. You see potential suspects and centers. They represent the same. There is one additional information, which is the shortcut. This is this is the pathway between those nodes. The shortcut. You see the shortcut means the most intense communication between those two nodes. 9, 6, and 11. And there's a shortcut between those because they have communicated the most with one another. Then you have a pathway which crosses the centers, and well, communication between organizations doesn't take place in obvious means. It's hidden, it's clandestine. And then you have other alternative pathways other than the central paths of communication, which are displayed at the end of the line. So you see the output brought about with two nodes. The nodes come from different clusters or groups. Well, the central pathway, the shortcuts, they're different from one another. Why do we differentiate? Because there are various pathways of communication. I am captain of Alpha B Boundtech team, Serhat Seyren. Thank you very much for listening. Serhat Bey, thank you very much. Congratulations to you and your team for your efforts. Anything else you would like to add to your presentation at the end? No, I wish success, everyone, lots of success. Thank you very much. You would like to join you in your views, and I would like to introduce the next team, which is developing the application. Atelier is the name of the next team. Hello, how are you? Thank you, fine. Who is this? Alamettin Çelik from Atelier team. How was your week? It was we were very busy, but it was nice. We had lots of fun, and we are also tired. Well, okay, let's see what you have prepared for us. This is the effort, the output of Atelier team's work. Hello. As Atelier team, we carried out an app on behalf of Coup Statistics. Large-scale data between social network can be pulled in a very short amount of time. I would like you to show you an animation before I start explaining how we came about with this application. So as you've seen in the animation, they're robots who act like herds. They're pulling data from social networks and pointing out critical data. So the data that we've obtained can be shown like this. So you see various sets of data. So if you are to filter one trend, you see the beginning and end of this trend and what happened, and you can examine the highest, the most trends, or there are different features that we can examine, but because we are running out of time, I will keep to this. I would like to give the floor to my friends to share their ideas about the hackathon. My name is Seyfullah Örnek. I'm a hackatronics engineer. We are analyzing the tweets in this project, and we have been faced with problems. You can pull the trends of a respective country or of a specific country, and we've integrated accessing to those countries' trends. And we will, as a result of other small-scale integrations, we will be able to use other types of platforms to pull data. Hello, I'm Alper. As Atelier, what we have done here is to identify wrongful perception in social media and prevent it, and use artificial intelligence to identify anomalies to protect social peace. Hello, I'm Aisu. We use the business modeling and the product designs of Coup Statistics. Coup Statistics doesn't have a commercial purpose. This app will be open to public institutions only, and thus confidentiality will be safeguarded. We will use cloud servers, unique cloud servers. Once we have completed the beta work with the pilot institutions, improved versions will come out. Well, we have seen your team members, and they took part in the presentation. That was really fine. Anything I would like to add? No, thank you. I wish you lots of success. Thank you for participating in our hackathon. If you allow me, I would like to invite the next team who is developing an application in this hackathon, Baykent University. Hello.
Merhabalar.
Hello. Welcome.
Hoş bulduk. Mehmet Ansayar.
Introduce yourself. My name
Bilgisayar
is Mehmet
mühendisliği lisans
Ansayar.
öğrencisiyim.
I am
Gelecek
a
Park Yatırımı
computer
birlikte. O da lisans öğrencisi
engineer
ve esas
student,
Anticoup doktora öğrencisi o da.
and we have a doctorate student in our team as well. So with three. How was how did it go after the semifinals? It was quite intense, and we are deprived of sleep, but we're ready. Yes, that's a common feature, sleeplessness. I mean, because of the limited amount of time allotted to us. So you work day and night. We know that. Now we will listen to Beykent University's presentation. Beykent Guardians team is proud to join this hackathon. Well, we thought about bi-directional, unidirectional communication strengthening to prevent coup. People play an important role in the prevention of coup. That's why we have developed a national emergency communication protocol, which can be used in extraordinary circumstances without and will prevent interruption of communication. There are 5 solutions in the national emergency response strategy. Well, communication between the people and the government will be ensured smoothly via mesh network, which is not centralized. What is a mesh network? There are various clients in this system that communicate with one another. Other systems, they are not that operational. So certain protocols have been developed to improve this communication. So we have encrypted information one-on-one between the public and the government. And the presidency messages will be opened and public. And if you have an access to the internet, you can use the system. How does the application between the public and the government work? So there are different pathways, ABC. The green lines is the encrypted communication between individuals. The red lines is the communication between the government and the people, and directions given by the government to the people. The government is publishing a message, and this message is sent to the closest node, and then it is disseminated through there. Well, these are weaknesses. If there is a node connected to one, it is slow. So can opposing forces use the system? Well, the armed forces, they have a strong communication infrastructure, so they have their own way of communicating. The public doesn't have that. So here you see a civil communication procedure that will be used bidirectional. It is controlled by the presidency, and if it is in the wrong hands, it can be interrupted. So there are base stations that ensure communication used by the GMS operators. The authorization of subscribers are checked by the GMS operator, but this will be done by the president in the system. Bidirectional communication will be strengthened through IHA and the balloons. Well, here you see the disadvantages and advantages can be used for various tasks. These are single-purpose, single-use balloons, and they are not affected by the weather conditions, and they cover a wide space. What UAV or balloon? Which one is better? Both of them together, because UAV has needs physical space, but it here you see some examples of Google. In 2017, there was a flood in Peru and communication was interrupted. Google introduced a Loon project to ensure communication between the parties. And then there are rotating blade UAVs. Um, it can operate 24 hours. And you can confirm it by looking at the references. You see this coverage area, 22.5 kilometers, the help of a base station, and then TV and radio companies. They can help, and all channels and frequencies can be taken over by the presidency of the republic to ensure communication. So the broadcaster uses satellites for communication, but if a software is utilized, it can be transferred. The control of the software can be transferred to the presidency. The same can happen with the GMS operators based stations by way of software transferred to the presidency. If necessary in emergencies, all radio station will publish the president's messages. And you can use satellite telephones to encrypt the message. Public or private channels can be used, and this can be introduced in the bureaucratic system of the country. Thank you very much. It was a very detailed presentation. Hopefully, you will obtain good results with this project. Final comments. Wish you lots of success and a good day. To you too, I would like to introduce the next team, which is Boğaziçi Siber. Hello, welcome. Hello, Fulya Hanım. How are you? We are quite fine. How are you? Uh, let's get to know you, if you wish, of course. My name is Bilal İmamoğlu. I'm representing Boğaziçi Siber team. We are joining you from Bosphorus University. We're a team of 5. How was your week? Very busy and we're tiresome. And hopefully it will benefit our country. Let's hope so. And I'm looking forward to your presentation. And let's watch your final project. Boğaziçi Siber, you have the floor. Hello. As Boğaziçi Siber team, in this hackathon, we have come up with the following infographics idea. We will use a clustering method to segment actions before the coup and after the coup in countries. Because it interrupts the democratic flow of things in our country, the coup, and it's not only a problem of our country, but of other countries as well, and it has major social impacts, and we have taken into account various data sets to analyze the process. Hopefully, the benefits will go beyond this hackathon and will contribute to raising awareness about coups. Let's get to know our enemy. What is a coup? Well, Turkish Language Institution defines it in the following way: by using pressure, forcing the government to resign, or trying to bring about regime change in a country by ending the term of a ruling party or the government. So here you see how many coups failed and how many became successful. 234 became successful, 232 failed. Since 1950s, the real threat of coups has always been present. We have divided the time slot pre-2000 and post-2000, and 50% of those before 2000 succeeded, and we have analyzed the types of government the coup tried to top. Here you see 27 of the regimes were democratic, Some of them were militaries regimes, some of them were autocratic. You see the post-2000 coups and how many failed and how many of them became successful. Well, we see that we have less coups now, but it never ends. It's still present. 57% of the coup attempts are against democracy, and um, the objective, the goal of the coups has changed in time. And though the coup plotters, they are they are trying to bring democracy to a country, quote unquote, uh, but it's a fraud and it's a fraudulent thinking, and they're not bringing about uh, the democracy they promised. At the end, the country becomes even more anti-democratic. And another point about coups is that um, after 466 coups in 5 years' time, ses yok.
Gelmiyor.
egemenliğin kayıtsız şartsız milletin olduğunu anlaşılması ve darbe tehdidinin boyutunun kavranması gerekmektedir. Bu da toplum genelinde farkındalık kazandırarak gerçekleştirebilir. Ve nitekim bizim de burada bulunma amacımız zaten bu.
Ha, koptuk mu?
Diğer bir nokta ise
This
bu veri de
corresponds to the new election or right before the new election.
peki Türkiye bu
And
ülkenin neresinde?
where is Turkey in this equation? How did Turkey overcome this coup attempt? How do we stand out compared to other countries? Now, we want to focus on the most important parameter, which is mostly ignored, social parameters. And in this graph, we see Turkey, who has overcome the coup attempt, and 5 countries who suffered a coup. And the family connection, communication between the app points, we have the app plan application. It works on Android and iOS phones, and it will be found in the app stores, and it can be downloaded in all languages, so everyone can download this application beforehand if they want to be prepared for an emergency situation. And at the time of the coup, they will use this app and they will connect to this network with their passwords. There will be messaging, message groups, and audio and video call options in the app as well. So why is the app plan system required? The first target is broadcast companies during a coup, and when there is a halt in communications, then it creates a lot of challenges, and the internet network can also be interrupted during a coup. That's why this mechanism is very valuable. The advantages of the system: it can be used in every condition. The budget is quite affordable and it's sustainable. These are the advantages of our system. And the system can work without any problems. And we also have a sample scenario of how the system works. You can have a look at this if you like. Thank you very much for listening to us, and we wish all the teams the best. Thank you very much, Team David. And you have expressed what you want to do very well in your final project. I wish you all the best. Would you like to add anything? I would just like to apologize if we made any mistakes. And of course, there can be some issues sometimes. We tried our best, and I wish everyone all the best. Thank you, and we wish you all the best. And our next team will be RGS Technopark. They are competing in infographics. Hello, can we get to know you? Ahmet Kiraz, RGS Technopark. How was your week for you and your team? Well, in terms of the communication infrastructure of Turkey, we had a lot of researches, so we had a lot of learnings from that with the help of this hackathon, and we will be sharing our proposals as a result of our researches in the presentation. Okay, let's go ahead and see it. Hello, our team is RGS Technopark. We worked in the area of communications with the infographics theme for the July 15 International Anticoup Hackathon. We worked under 3 topics. One is we examined the military coups across the world and looked at their common characters. And we looked at proactive movements for coup attempts. We looked at what we could do proactively. And if a coup attempt has already begun, how can it be eliminated? We looked at that. We saw that 457 coups took place between 1950 and 2020, and 49.7% were successful, so almost half-half. And there are some common properties of coups. They usually happen very late at night, and there is some propaganda going on the day before towards the public about how a coup is necessary, and there is some unrest created across the public. And also in the army, the people who are plotting the coups, in the 60s, for example, it was the colonels. So it can be colonels or generals, basically in the military ranks, captains to generals we see are involved in coups. So it is very important to distinguish between heroes and coup plotters. There was around 1.5% heroes in the coup across the coup plotters. And selecting the coup plotters in the military is very important so that the heroes are not confused to be part of them. And first of all, we worked on the HTS records. Now, as you know, HTS records can only be acquired through court order, but we wanted to make sure that we can access this without court order, and the traffic needs to be measured. And if there are some new phone numbers that are found, they need to be listed as suspicious. So basically, the suspicious data acquired by the system can be sent directly to the authorities. And also a social media alarm is very important, because on the day before, there are some activities carried out on social media to create unrest across the public. And again, national or international posts give us impression about whether or not this is manipulation. And we also took some steps to set alarms for the tweets that seem like manipulations, and also for the movement of military troops is very important. So both road and air traffic needs to be monitored for this. The traffic around the military troops needs to be monitored, and there needs to be a communication infrastructure related to this. And in the current infrastructure, the Turkish telecommunications company has two endpoints, and if those endpoints are harmed in any way, the entire internet and telephone infrastructure of Turkey will stop working. So we also had some infographic activities around preventing this. And another proposal we have is if the coup plot has already begun, then we have a proposal about the smart city systems being integrated into the coup prevention system. That's all from us. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. You've explained in detail what you wanted to deliver to us in your infographics. Is there anything you would like to add? Thank you very much, and we hope we will never experience a coup again. Yes, thank you very much, RGS Techno Park. And now we have Hatay Mustafa Kemal University and Techno Park. Hello, welcome. Who am I speaking to? Hi. Welcome. Can you introduce yourself? Hi, I'm faculty member Bilal İşçi from Hatay Mustafa Kemal University, and I am representing our team established together with Technopark. How did your preparations go? Which area are you competing in? We're competing in application, and in the semifinals, we offered a prototype that was in half working condition. Now we completed our application, and we also created some proposals to further develop the application, and you can have a look at our presentation and find out more about it. Okay, then let's see your presentation. Hatay Mustafa Kemal University. Hello, our application called Duyar will enable coordination between civilians and the security forces during a coup attempt. When you face a suspicious situation, you can use the application, and through audio, video, or visual elements, you can communicate with the authorities. And the management center will examine the message you send and will decide whether it is a risk or not. And our application is web-based, so it can work independent from platform or device. We used PHP, JavaScript, and MySQL for the application, and also for the identification of threatening elements, we continued to work with other platforms. And at the welcome page, we have the login screen. And to verify the accuracy of the notifications that come from the users, this login can be verified through the Turkish identity number system or the Turkish e-state system. And as you log in, you will see the notification page. And here, at least the text box should be filled. You cannot hit send without entering text into the text box. You can also send images or audio files. And also, if the user is on a computer, then the location information is received through the computer. If the user is on a mobile device, then the location is received through the IP and also through the location services. And if there are any responses to the notifications made by the user can see that under Answers. And also in the Announcements tab, the users can see all announcements made by the management center. And when the admin logs into the system, there will be an admin panel that can be viewed. And through this admin panel, the admin panel can be reached. And here there is a map. And as we scroll through the map, we can see the amount of notifications coming from each city. And in the notifications tab, you can see the amount of unread notifications, and it will be filtered according to date. And the management center can see the details of the notifications, and if there are any images attached or audio attached, they can play these files. They can respond to the user about their notification. And when the artificial intelligence menu is clicked, you can see the images sent by users according to the selection done by AI about how threatening they are. And deep learning and RCN have been used in this part of the project, and we continue our activities in this area. And adding this module is important in terms of prioritizing the notifications with time sensitivity. And the recorded mobile phone number or email messages can be sent, and we are also working on sending instant notifications or messages to the users by their computers through the web page. And on the main page, you can use Elasticsearch to filter the messages, and you can also we are also working on creating keyword searches, and through this, the management center's attention will be drawn towards the areas with higher threats. And our application creates a lot of advantages in terms of further developments because it is web-based and independent from any devices. Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to add? Thank you. I would like to thank all of our mentors who supported us while we were developing our application, because we're actually more crowded than we seem. A lot of our faculty members helped us as well. And also, I would like to congratulate all teams for their activities. Thank you very much for participating. And our next team, of course, they're also very excited. Our next team is Kesintisiz Demokrasi, Uninterrupted Democracy. Hello, welcome. Can you introduce yourself? I'm Okan Öztürkmenoğlu. We are an interdisciplinary team. We have an economist, a statistics expert, a historian, and a teacher/designer. So what kind of an application did you develop? We're very curious. Let's have a look at it. Our project idea is focusing on analyzing the data about people's perception on coups. And when we see areas of lack of knowledge, we will be making use of experts' information to raise awareness. So this application is a crowdsourcing platform, and the system can be enriched with self-training models. And to summarize our model, experts and researchers from various disciplines will create the characteristics of coups, and all the operations can be managed through the management panel, and the users will not have to log in to use the system, and the user will be able to select a specific coup, and they will be able to respond to the questions that the system generates for them, or they can select all and try to respond to a mixed set of questions combining all information about all coups. And the data about the user who answers the questions will be registered with a session number, and the multiple choice or open-end question responses will be used to understand the knowledge level of the user, and through share we can also share the results we receive from the statistical activities we have over the user's answers, and we can promote the application in this way. And we will have a data set with some categorical parameters, regression, logistical regression, and AI network will be used, and also age, gender, and city information that will be entered by the user will help select the questions for that user, and will also help us in terms of grouping while creating reports. And also the answers to open-ended questions will create a big data set which will be text-based, and emotional analysis can be conducted through these responses. And with these analyses, we can also create proposals for the benefit of society. And the system can be visited more than once by each user. They can select different coup categories and answer to questions. And a user, for example, who visits the application numerous times can be facing the same questions again and again, and they can then propose questions as well. And the user's emotional responses for the open-ended questions will be added to the emotional data clusters and enrich those clusters. And as the applications is continued and the use of the application is continued, this will help us convert the platform into a platform which raises awareness through information sharing, and all the information we shared on this presentation can be reached through our prototype, which is currently live. You can go to uninterrupteddemocracy.com or kesintisizdemokrasi.com to have a look at the prototype. We invite you on our journey that we named Uninterrupted Democracy. Welcome. So we wish you all the best after your last sentence. I would like to wish all the teams all the best, and thank you all for all your efforts. Have a good broadcast. Thank you very much. And now our next team is coming up. Nida, Ömer, Halis, Demir. They are competing in applications.
Hello. Let's get to know you at first. And how did it go? I mean, after the semifinals, especially, what did you do in the meanwhile? My name is Erkan Çalışkay, and I am a member of faculty at Nida Ömer Halis Demir University. I am part of the Technopark initiative. We have a mixed team from the university and the Technopark. This is an educational app. And of course, we had sleepless nights like the other teams. As of yesterday, we have finalized our app and submitted it to you. Let's listen to your presentation about your educational app. The app is called Darbebil. The aim of the project is to inform people about coups and to raise awareness in children regarding coups. We have here a sound or an audio encryption system to prevent coup attempts. It has a social benefit. It is a non-profit. and it will be sustained with the support of the presidency and by raising other funds. This is a mobile app. At the same time, it can be operated on web platforms. The design of the app. Let's talk about the design. It's very simple. It is effectiveness, efficacy, and usability is in the foreground. So this is the main page. You have a 112 hotline, emergency hotline. You can press and call for help. Then you have a video on Coup. You can access the video on Coup. The video content is pulled from the web base, and it has the databases were analyzed to do that. The encrypted message page, the user can complain or report anything related to a coup and send his message, which is encrypted in a database in audio through an audio record, and you see various categories of. It is quite interactive. You can click on the relevant parts to obtain to access information on the content, and of course it will be updated. And this is the martyrs section. These are July 15th martyrs. You can have this is autobiographical information about the martyrs. You can filter those if you wish and do other things. After the martyrs section, we have a journey into the past section. This is a historic timeline of coups and coup attempts in our country, And then coups from the eyes of children. And that's next part. What do children think about coups? And you have interviews with children conducted. They're talking about how they perceive the coups and what they think about coups and how they have experienced the coups. And this is designed for children, but but it should be supervised by adults, the use. And at the same time, you have digital storytelling and animation for children, which will draw the attention of children. This will help awareness raising of children when it comes to coups. You can update all of this and add content from the web base. You can integrate elements from the web. It's very simple to do, and it is also sustainable. After the sections about the children, you have a world history of coups, and you see the names of the designers and web analysis, a web interface. It has a web interface. You see, this is the web interface. Admin panel. This is the admin panel. Here you see this is mobile based and also web based. So you can use it on your cell phone, on your computer, and use in the messages sent to the system and the number of visits, daily hits. And you have a chat platform between the various parties. Encrypted messages. You see encrypted messages, which these are voice records. This is a sound file, an audio file, and there is a decoder which decrypts the message, and crypto decoder, so you can decode the encrypted message. This is the web interface. It contains up-to-date technologies. The web-based connections links are compliant with this platform. Thank you very much. I wish you a good day. And we have seen a picture of your team at the end there. Thank you very much for the application that you have developed. We wish you lots of success going forward. Thank you. I would like to thank everyone for their contribution and wish everyone success. Okay, if you allow me now, I'd like to proceed to the next team. of competitors, Normsite Cybersecurity Technologies team. Hello. Hello. You are joining us. All of your team members are joining us on the screen. Hello to each and every one of you. I think you are the speaker. Can you introduce yourself? My name is Mehmet. I am from Normsite Cybersecurity Technologies team. We wanted for all members to become visible during the final presentation. So it was a very exhausting week. Between the semifinals and finals, we didn't sleep, I may say. And when we finished the project, we are very excited. So I would like to ask the entire team, how was your communication and the way you worked with each other? Well, we have been working in many projects together before, so we didn't. It was quite smooth. It was quite smooth the process. Okay, let's hear listen to your final project presentation. Hello, my name is Fatih Mehmet İşçioğlu from Normsite Cybersecurity Technologies. I'm the team captain. I join you from Diyarbakır. We chose the theme economy, and this is an economic application. The application that we have developed sheds light on the history of countries and the coups that they have gone through and what happened after the coups to the countries, and how the economy of the countries were affected, adversely affected, and what kind of damage the coup created. We have a world map. At first, we created a world map, and stop a coup, don't allow them to steal 10 years of your life. This is a slogan, the motto. Well, when a coup happens and it may ensue in a chaos and a destruction or a massacre even, and we have underlined this as a statement in the intro part, and then we've analyzed various sets of data and how a country recovers from a coup. The recovery period is between 7 to 10 years, as we have seen. And the worst civilian administration is better than a military administration. That's what we have emphasized on this page. The coup's effects on the economies of countries were compared against each other, and we have separated this in several categories, and we started with 1960s. So the time frame covers 1960 to 2000. We took into account World Bank data and other data sources. We created a data set for ourselves for the mentioned time period. And here you see the parameters that we took into account, how the inflation rate changes, how the GDP changes in that time frame, and when coups happen, or the coup attempts, how many people have lost their lives as a result, and how many coups have taken place in total. So we have analyzed all of this data, collated this data, and of course there were some striking data that were critical for us. We've seen that Africa has seen the highest amount of coups. 42% of coups took place in Africa. In 1966, there were many coups, the most coups. There were 28 coups and coup attempts in 1966. Bolivia has the highest frequency of coups. They have had 12 coups and 12 coup attempts. Total of 23 coups in Bolivia. In Europe, the number of coups, the percentage of coups is 3.4%. So Europe has seen the least amount of coups based on the last 40, 50 years. They have had 8 coups so far. And July 15, 2016 is an important date for a country. This is the latest, the date on which the latest coup attempt took place. So this is the data set we've used to create a world coup map. on this world map, Coup map, on the right-hand side of the screen, you see the countries and how many coups took place in which country. This is the total number of coups that have taken place in those countries and how many people lost their lives during those coups and to what extent the inflation rates has changed as a result. So you see all of those data here. On the left-hand side of the map, this is the your ordinary world map. You can make a globe out of it, and so you can change the graphs. So you see, you can click on any country you want, and by clicking on the country, you see that the change in GDP, inflation rate, and the mortality, how many people have died. And here you see, I'm choosing Bolivia as an example. This is among the top, it's the top country for coups. So this is our time frame. We start with 1960, and we run the system from there. And you can see the number of coups underneath the screen and the change in time in the GDP of the country graphically, and then to what extent the inflation increased or decreased. And as the coups were attempted, how many people lost their lives can be seen very clearly. Or you have this time tunnel here. We go back to 1960, run a time frame. You see the autoplay button that you click, and then how many coups have taken place in which years, and all of the country-related data, GDP, changes in GDP, inflation, and you can see, and also compare it with a global economy. So I'm running out of time, so I have to keep it short. But the project that we have developed can be used on Android device, iOS devices. It can be run on the web as well, very easily. And you can access all of the data on the map regarding the coups. Thank you very much for your attention. And I would like to wish all contenders, finalists, success. Northside team, thank you very much for the detailed presentation that we have been just watching. Anything you would like to add as a team? Any final words? It was very exhausting, but well, it was worthwhile, and we would like to. I'm sure the other 15 teams were as busy as we were, and I would like to wish them success. Okay, I would like to wish you success as well. If you allow me now, I'd like to proceed with the next team. Everyone is very excited. We have approached the finals. We have 19 Mayıs University Conseil now. They have an infographics project. Who am I speaking to? Hello, Fulya. I am team captain of 19 Mayıs University Conseil. How did it go the last week? It was very exciting, and as mentioned by the other teams, we spent some sleepless nights. We were very busy. So this hackathon pointed out things that we were not aware of regarding coups. It was very helpful, I think, in that regard as well. All right then. Now, without further ado, we'd like to watch your presentation. The screen is frozen. Excuse me. This is now the 19 Mayıs University Council presentation. May 27th, 1960. 12th September 1980. 28th February 1997. And July 15th, 2016. Coups, they are threatening the government, the country's democracy. They're like a black hole for the country. People were trying to prevent countries from democratizing and strengthening via coups. And the strongest way to resist those coups is standing tall as the people of the countries and take ownership of their democracy. As we have witnessed on July 15th, Generation Z, who have never seen a coup, who have never resisted a coup and don't have an awareness regarding coup, do not know what a coup is about. So, well, elevating the consciousness when it comes to coup has to be ensured by way of lifelong education, starting at young ages. Lifelong democracy education should not be used by way of made-up heroes, but by telling children about heroes who created legends in real life. In the starting with preschool, we can use visual media to make sure that people take ownership of their democracy and find out about the real heroes. Because it's the time when consciousness starts and children start to understand life. So we have to give them heroes from real life that they can take as an example, and start in the middle school and until the end of high school. What we can do is to add this information in textbooks, to use interactive modules for people to know the heroes that took ownership of the democracy. And this is a time of learning and taking examples, role models, looking for role models in one's life. It will serve the purpose to establish the awareness, consciousness of democracy in young ages. So the cognitive development of young people reaches an important phase when they're 18 years old, and from then on they continue to develop their consciousness when it comes to democracy. We can use lots of films, documentaries, and other media to strengthen national unity and the idea of democracy. The cognitive development of young people reaches an important stage when they're 18 years old, and in order for them to be active citizens when it comes to awareness of democracy, we should not forget about the use of various tools or media to strengthen their perception of awareness of democracy. Films, documentaries can be used after the years of the age of 18 to strengthen the democratic perception of people. And in conclusion, we should act in the first stages of life when individuals are getting to know life, and to make sure that they become conscious members, individuals of society by getting to know the real heroes. I would like to greet all living creatures who are resisting death, and shame you on people who are trying to do away with democracy. I would like to greet all people who have become shields in front of the heinous elements. Yes, you have watched the presentation of 19 Mayıs University Conseil. Now I'd like to introduce the next team. Let's get to know them and watch their final project. The team is called Phoenix. They are developing an application if in this hackathon. Welcome. Hello. Hello, Fuliana. Like last time, you're greeting us with all your team members, and we have seen the flag in the background. How nice. How did it go the time after the semifinals, and how did this hackathon contribute to your team and your work? Well, the process, the time after the semifinals was very intense, and we were quite disciplined. We woke up at the same time, went to bed at the same time. So, and we're happy with the teamwork and the output of our work and the outcome of our work. Hopefully, it will benefit everyone. Let's see what your outcome is. Hello, I am Team Captain Mau Phoenix, Emra. This is the beta version. It is called Psychological Analysis System. I would like to introduce. It's called Topaz. Artificial intelligence, data mining, and sociology science are being collated to access the way people think and how they feel. So we're using Twitter as a source. Why Twitter? Based on up-to-date statistics, there are 777,000 million tweets in the world. There are 7 million tweets are sent per day in Turkey. It's a very rich source of information. HTTP security protocols are being utilized. So we prevent pulling data over the IP addresses. That's why we can download up to 3,500 tweets in a safe way from the system. This is the working principle of Topaz. Social media in the world and in the country. Let's say there's a scandal happening right now, and we would like to research that. And there are traditional reports that we can pull, and analysis. They work on those reports for long hours. But in the system, what we want, let's say we want to research a date, and we can put in keywords looking for a theme. Keywords, and we can use data mining and unnecessary words. They can be deleted from the data sets, and the feeling synthesizing will be conducted. So retweets, likes, and responses and other values will be analyzed, and we will see the distribution of emotions and feelings. In the development process of the project, we have taken into account it has been created specially for people who are literate and who are illiterate when it comes to digital media. So it's a pioneer in that regard. So in some universities, there are theses on a similar system, but unlike the others, Topaz has a modular and a multidisciplinary structure and can be used by various sectors actively. We use data mining, artificial intelligence, and the science of sociology, which is quite an innovative idea. The project plans have been done after the beta version. Self-learning modules will be included later on. And we have a positive negative hashtag system in the social media. Based on these hashtags, the system will create a data pool for education. And then by way of using keywords and tweets related to the keywords, we will collect these tweets and analyze them. And this was the detailed explanation. Let's see a demo. So when you log in, you have an entry screen. And if you wish, you can put in the keyword. For example, all the relevant tweets or keyword. Pick the date interval. Let's say for the word coup, let's search all times. You write down a coup and then click on the button, and the system connects to Twitter and pulls the tweets entailing coups. Then analyze the data. You push the button to analyze the data. The tweets, they there is an artificial model analyzing the feelings behind the tweets. And then it is redirecting you to a Python model. After finalization of the analysis, you see our graph page, and you can have various graphs pertaining to various periods. Let's say we have queried how many positive, negative tweets have been sent with regards to Qt. On how many retweets, how many likes exist when it comes to these tweets that have been sent about the Qt. You can investigate that in our system. Well, thank you very much. Good work. Phoenix team have provided a detailed explanation to us about the project. Anything you would like to add? Well, I would like to thank Maltepe University for creating means for us to do this project. And well, I would like to thank my own team for creating a better version in 1 week's time. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to invite the next team and ask them how their week was. Tohum, hello, how are you?
Hello, who are we speaking to? I'm Ahmet Madraiboğlu. So, how was the week? How did the hackathon contribute to you? Well, it was a very busy week. Together with my friend Yasin Sulamush, we had many sleepless and long nights, but it was a very educative project for us. So, we're very curious about what you did. So, let's have a look at the Tohum project's final presentation.
Sosyal medyada hükümeti tehdit eden her türlü eylem,
All
söylem,
types
şüphe
of
ve hareket,
actions,
hükümet ve
discourses,
gerekli merciler
suspicious
tarafından tespit edilmesi
activities
gerekmektedir.
that
Özellikle
threaten
son 10 yılda
governments
Orta
on
Doğu'da
social media
dengeleri
should be
değiştiren Arap
detected
Baharı
by
ve terör
governments,
tepki ve
especially the
eylem
Arab
sonucunda
Spring, which has
organize
changed
olarak
the
hükümetin
balances
devrilmesi,
in the Middle
hükümetin
East,
de halkının istekleri,
has overthrown
ihtiyaçlarını,
governments
şikayetlerini ve
in the area. The
buna göre aksiyon
governments
Arap Baharı'nda
need to be able to forecast these events and hear out the demands of their people to prevent such situations. There has been an observation that the tweets increased during the coup in Egypt, for example, and Twitter can access everyone. So what is Twitter? The texts titled tweets, made up of 280 characters, are shared together with videos and images. On this platform, you can share tweets, like tweets, or comment on other tweets. News, social, cultural, scientific, economic, political tweets can be shared and can become widespread very instantly, and people can post instant reactions to these messages. We click on the button Coup meter and start our application, and we can then see the data related to leaders in graphics, and we see the groups that share about these leaders. And we then see the harmony index between the government and the people, and the net approach index, and the monthly tweet numbers in Turkey. And we can also see the trend distribution across the cities of Turkey. We can query the data of past tweets, and we can see the pattern, dramatic changes, increases or declines. And through these, forecasts can be created and necessary actions can be taken. And we have some significant reviews of the data collected from Twitter, and We also look at tweets, retweets, likes, or responses, and all of this data of these users can be recorded. The people and the groups that we can see in the systems are also recorded according to the subsets they create impact on. We use Python, and we also have the data of all the accounts connected to the specific account in the background. And the mindset of the public can be clearly portrayed with these analysis, and bot and trolls can be used to eliminate fake agendas, and these mediums can be used for more beneficial purposes. Thank you very much, Tohum. If you have a final message, I would like to thank all other teams and wish them all the best. And we wish you all the best. And our final team, Vitesi, they've been competing in the area of applications as well. They've prepared an application for us. Hello, welcome.
Merhabalar.
Hello.
Sizi tanıyalım lütfen.
Can you introduce
Ben
yourself?
Atatürk Üniversitesi'nden Elif.
I'm
Endüstri
Elif
mühendisliği
from
öğrencisiyim.
Atatürk University.
Bilgisayar
I'm a
mühendisliğinden
student of industrial
arkadaşlarımla beraber
engineering,
bir proje
and together
çıkardık.
with my friends from
Paketimizi
computer
hazırladık.
engineering, we developed a
Aynı zamanda
project. Like
programımız
everyone else, we are also very exhausted, but I'm sure that feeling of pride is was worth it all. So let's have a look at your final project.
Konumuza başlamadan önce
Before
sosyolojik teoremden bahsedeyim.
starting our subject, I would like to talk about a sociological theory. It's the
Evin camlarına taş atmaya, bu eve zarar vermeye başladı.
broken glass theory. So when someone throws a stone at a house's window, everyone else starts to do that, and that's why the house turns into a desolate space.
Komutanın bomba ihbarı mı var?
Darbe olayını ele aldığımızda
When
bahsettiğimiz
we
kritik
tackle the situation of the coup, we see that it matches the broken glass theory. So that's why the best solution is to prevent it before it starts. But of course, no event has a beginning or an end, and history repeats itself. So we need to make sure we monitor the events in real time. And with statistical analysis, the data received about those accused for coup plotting needs to be matched with potential suspects, and also the court cases that are ongoing about current detainees. The data from those court cases can also be collected and compared, and in this way the system will keep itself up to date. And when we look at our medium-term plans, we are talking about a self-learning and self-protecting system with basically not a semi-autonomous but fully autonomous program in time. Under the Turkish identity number query tab, you can insert an identity number and hit search. And the system will tell you the percentage of how threatening that individual is. And also the amount of people who have a potential number of coup plotters can be seen through the map. We use the HTTP function and real-time database function of Google, Node.js, and unrelated database design are powering our application, and in terms of process capacity, it is going to be very efficient. And once we transfer our data file, the triggers will start working, and together with the information we have in our data sets, the guilty or not guilty values will be identified, and together with all the other calculations, it will be ready and it will wait for the queries. And any data added will instantly be added to the equation, and that's why the constants and the program will always be up to date. So there will be a trigger that triggers the calculation, and that trigger will be triggered by something else. And that's why it will require less human intervention, and it can become completely autonomous in the future. And it will be working as an unbiased official consultant. The world was always in war. Someone drew a line and said, you can't go through there, and that's how blood was shed. So technology now should not let blood be shed. It should prevent bloodshed, and hopefully it will be used to create better tomorrows. Thank you very much. That was the BTC team's presentation. Can I receive your final message, and then we'll have our closing speech. I would like to wish everyone all the best, and once again, I would like to state that we're very happy to be part of this platform. Thank you very much, distinguished viewers. As you can see, our teams were very excited, and our jury will carefully continue with their evaluations. Our teams are racing head to head, I must say that, and the results of these final presentations, and of course, very importantly, the winners of this exhausting and long marathon will be announced on the 20th of July on www.anticoupHackathon.com. Distinguished viewers, our dear teammates, organized under the auspices of the Directorate of Communications of the Presidency of the Republic of Turkey with the motto "Strength Rises from Unity," we organized the July 15 International Anti-Coup Hackathon, and I would like to once again wish all the best to all of our competing teams. And I would like to remind you of our awards once again. The winner of the July 15 International Anti-Coup Hackathon will seize the opportunity to develop the application and website of the World Coup Monitoring Platform, and the same team will be granted a prize of 15,000 euros, and the team who wins the infographics competition will be granted 2,000 euros. And I would like to thank all of our teams once again, and we have reached the end of the final projects broadcast of the July 15 International Anti-Coup Hackathon, organized under the auspices of the Directorate of Communications of the Presidency of the Republic of Turkey. We experienced the excitement of the teams all together, and I am also very curious about the winners. And we started this journey on the 13th of July, and this is the first and only big data analysis in the area of military coups. And military coups which disrupt the operations of countries which are the greatest enemies of democracies are being analyzed with these projects, and we managed to take the first steps of very important projects in this scope, and young brains worked with the codes, writing code after another to create an enlightening future for all of us. Hope to see you in the next Anti-Coup Hackathon. I'm Fulya Kalfa. Goodbye.
şehirden çıkacak, neler yaptık, neler yapacağız, ve bizi neler bekliyor. Lütfen
Tanışıklı
beni
olacak.
bakma.
Ama önemli olan burada konsepti, mimariyi ve akışı, kaynakları
merak olduğunu gördüm. Benim aslında imkanlı olduğum
bilgisayar mühendisliği 4. sınıf Beykent Üniversitesi olarak katılıyoruz.
Peki o zaman merak ediyorum ne yaptığınızı. Umarım yararlı ders
Dolayısıyla
Görsel, sesli ya da yazılı olarak